welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I'm a spiritual guide and paranormal adept, and this is the astrological forecast for March 8th through March 14th of 2020. This is a general overview, so understanding that we are looking at a little shy of 8 billion people on the planet. If this does not seem to apply to you, then don't panic on it. You can always contact me below. All the information will be right below this video as far as how to get a hold of me in order to get more personalized information. So let's start with the general side of it. We have the Ace of Swords. Now the Ace of Swords indicates that there are decisions being made, but it really is kind of like the sword. It basically is two-edged, as you can see with the depiction. Okay, now we've managed to stumble over that very nicely. It means it can cut both ways, depending on what your decision is. How you manage to make it, or what you decide to do, will determine the outcomes. Now remember, take the time to think things through before speaking, especially if you're in a tense situation. Whether it's a good situation you're in or a bad one, the Ace of Swords tells you to take a step back, take a breath, think about what you're trying to say. Okay, the reason for that is by thinking first, you will, in all likelihood, avoid a lot of unnecessary problems. So, here we have Aries, the Ace of Cups. Now, of course, the fact that we have two aces right off the bat does show a lot of new beginnings. The Ace of Cups is focusing primarily on relationships. This is the time, if ever there was one, to be really honest with yourself as to where your current relationships are standing. Now, this may be an intimate relationship. It may be that special someone. We could be talking about friendships that are what I call dead weight, meaning you're the one putting the effort into it and getting virtually nothing back in return. Okay, relationships like that, or let's say you've got a business relationship. Maybe your mechanic isn't quite living up to your expectations. This is the time to be honest with them and really look at whether or not your connection to them is actually beneficial for you. It's a wonderful thing to be politically correct and try and make everybody happy, but unfortunately it doesn't work that well. Okay, when we take a look at Taurus, now Taurus is showing the Ten of Pentacles inverted. Now the nice thing about the Ten of Pentacles is it indicates it's a positive card either way. Basically, you're looking at prosperity. You'll find this week the finances take a change for the better. Now, of course, if you don't pay attention to what you're doing with them, all the surplus in the world is not going to help you. Okay, when we couple that with the Ace of Swords from the overall, we're looking at a nice little situation that does indicate new opportunities coming up as well. Okay, now, when we look at Gemini, you'll notice the Three of Cups is inverted. Now, oftentimes, the Three of Cups inverted does indicate disappointment. Okay, now do understand, this sometimes is also a real benefit. Because of the Ace of Swords here, you'll find the Three of Cups indicates, yes, there's a sense of loss, but you may find that is a new opportunity pops up because of it. Okay, so don't get caught up on the negative side of that loss. It's kind of like, having your house burned down and finding underneath in the basement, in amongst the wreckage, finding a stash of money enough that you can rebuild the house altogether. Now, when we look at Gemini, we have the Four of Pentacles. This is showing a little bit of a challenge coming up. Pay attention to what you've been doing with your money. This is not the time to overextend your finances. Pay attention, hang on to what you've got. Investing at this point is likely going to set you back a bit, and you may find the timing is off. Okay, a little delay in this case is likely to bring you a better profit return. Okay, now we have Cancer here. Cancer is a wonderful little detail because Cancer does show the Two of Cups. This is renewed relations. In all likelihood, if you've been going through complications with your special someone, the Two of Cups brings celebration, brings balance back into the picture. And of course, again, we go back to this neat little Ace of Swords with new doorways being opened. You combine it with the Two of Cups, and all of a sudden we have an opportunity to put a complicated negative twist in the past, put it back into a positive side of things, and get back on track. But remember, think things through before you jump to conclusions or before you say anything that is likely to create a problem. Okay, now, let's move on to Leo. Leo is showing the Five of Wands. Now, the Five of Wands indicates struggles. Okay, while you're making changes to the way your life is going, while you're making shifts in the commitment levels that you've got, understand it is almost certain to upset some people. The trick is to think things through and be sure that you're at least not intentionally causing conflict, but be sure to follow karmic law and remain true to you. It's a great thing to keep people happy, but if you're doing it at the expense of your own happiness, it's almost certain to backfire. Maybe not right away, but in pretty short order it will. Now we take a look at Virgo, and in the difference here, you'll see the Six of Wands. Well, the Six of Wands indicates for Virgo a challenge you've been dealing with. Okay, and because we're dealing with the Ace of Swords here, this is likely, when I talk about it being a legal challenge, it may not apply directly to the court system. It could very easily fit into a challenge you've been having with your schedule, with your schooling, or with your career. But what the important factor here is the Six of Wands indicates victory. In other words, thinking things through, phrasing things properly, as in professionally, you are likely to get things worked out in your favor. Now we take a look at Libra. Libra is showing the Queen of Swords. Now, this indicates that it's time to really sit down, even though you may find that you like being the center of attention, that you like things balanced around you. With the Queen of Swords inverted, it's saying it's time to sit down with your partner and make certain that they are on the same page you are, that they are feeling valued as well. Valued or listened to or heard. Phrase it how you will. Now remember, this could be either an actual romantic partner, it could be a business partner, or just an extremely close friend. Take a look at those connections and make sure that you are treating the people and that they are feeling as though they're valued. Now, Scorpio here has the Page of Cups inverted, indicating that there is a little bit of an emotional setback here. You're likely to be going through right now a little bit of a challenge where it comes to being understood. Again, this is where you take a step back and think things through. If you're writing a letter, go over it repeatedly until you are certain it's saying what you'd like it to. Because don't forget, where it comes to written words, more often than not, they can be misconstrued in a very short order, so be very clear with them. Now, Sagittarius, we have the truth coming out. Well, as we know, with the galactic center sitting in Sagittarius, and Sagittarius itself having the death card inverted, this is a good thing, because the death card inverted means the end of a situation, But you have the ability to turn that into a positive outcome. Okay, so whatever the conflict is that you've been dealing with, this is the time to wrap it up, and you've got the ability to do so. Now, when we look at Capricorn, Capricorn has the Queen of Pentacles. This indicates a positive shift in your finances due to interaction with a knowledgeable, special someone. Now, the reason I put both of those in is the Queen of Pentacles is more often than not a partner close to you, a female partner usually, or a very creative one that has a good head on their shoulders for money. Now, if you don't happen to be in a relationship at this point, this would be most likely indicative of a financial advisor. Okay, again, with thinking things through, the opportunities are opening themselves up, making it possible to get things moving in the right direction. Now, Aquarius, here we have another one of these 10s like we did way back in Taurus. With Aquarius, we have the 10 of Cups, inverted. Now again, because it's the 10 of Cups, inverted, either way, whether it's upside down, inverted, or right side up, either way, it's a positive card. Because it's the card, in this position, it shows that things are happening so nicely around you that your cup is starting to overflow. This is the time where sharing with other people can be very beneficial. Again, be careful you don't take the whole cup and pour it out. It's great to help other people, but make certain you're taking care of you first. That does not mean become selfish. It means don't hang yourself or don't leave yourself short while you're trying to take care of everybody else. Now, there are people around you that will say, come on, you've got a little extra, give me a hand. That's great if it is a relationship where you're getting some sort of compensation in most cases. There are times when just straight charity is a great thing. Okay, but be careful of the people that are asking for it. More often than not, you may run into troubles with that. Especially if you're the kind of person, which most Aquarians are, that tend to let other people dictate how things happen. Now, Pisces, we have the Hermit. Now, the Hermit indicates sitting up on a hill. It's basically keeping to yourself. You'll find this is a week that you do try and hold things together, that you try and stay out of the limelight, if you will. Okay, take the time to sit down and really take a look at you and what your goals are. This is a good time to get your thoughts on paper in a solid fashion. Now that we've done the 12, we're going to go back and tie off as per usual with an overview once more. We have here the Six of Swords inverted. Now it is showing, because it's inverted, that you're still going over some rough patches, so take your time. It's kind of like trying to go down the river. You don't try paddling in a hurry. Don't be in a rush to get where you're going. Okay, give yourself the time to get where you need to, whether that's an actual trip or whether it's a thought process that you're working through. Take your time with it, get it planned properly, and absolutely ask for assistance or a secondary viewpoint if required. Now, with that, we're going to leave this at this point. Okay, take a look at it. Absolutely remember to like the video below. Subscribe to our channel, because we try and do this once a week. Okay, and absolutely share it with the people that you know. Whether you like them or not doesn't really matter, because not everything that you like, they're going to like. But they may find it beneficial, and you never know. It may just work out for you. You get a new friend out of the deal just by sharing something like this. Now, I'm going to call it close here, but check down below. You'll find a whole list of ways of getting a hold of me. I've got timestamps for each of the different signs. So take care of yourselves, and until we meet again, for pity's sakes, stay positive.